What do you think? If a shepherd has 100 sheep and one of them has gone astray, does he not leave the 99 on the mountains and go in search of the one that went astray? And if he finds it, truly I tell you, he rejoices over it more than over the 99 that never went astray. So it is not the will of your Father in heaven that one of these little ones should be lost. We've probably heard the parable of the lost sheep so many times that it barely registers anymore. In our mind's eye, perhaps it plays out in a pastoral idyll. The sheep wanders off from one green pasture to another. The shepherd notices and naturally wants to protect his sheep, so he secures the others and rescues that naughty little lamb that strayed. Except that herding in the Holy Land is rather less green and pleasant than all that. The mountainous landscape can be pretty treacherous. The Old Testament hero David honed his skills with the slingshot while out protecting his family's sheep from predators. So what shepherd would risk losing their 99 remaining sheep to accidents or wolves? We know farmers are often fond of their animals, but there's fondness and then there's cutting your losses. At this point, we realise that perhaps the parable would have sounded a bit ridiculous to its first century hearers. It makes no business sense to risk the vast bulk of your livelihood while you search for one sheep which was stupid enough to wander away from safety in the first place. And that's why this parable is such a beautiful illustration to me of God's extravagant love. Jesus is telling us that he's not just your average all-right shepherd. He's the good shepherd who actively seeks out the lost sheep, never giving up, never thinking one little lost soul probably isn't worth the bother. We might get into any number of scrapes and wander far off into danger, and we are still worth saving. Jesus reminds us here that our worth is not profit-based. The kingdom of heaven is not a numbers game. It's not an economic transaction. It's a not one of these little ones should be lost kind of family. Each and every human is utterly precious in God's sight and worth rescuing every time.